All right, folks, when you hear the kind of news I'm going to share with you, I mean, it doesn't matter if AMC is trading at what, $16 or even $10 a share. This literally means that you can expect triple digits. I can't tell you when, but you already know what I mean by expecting triple digits, because it should be trading at triple digits. And the very reason why it's not trading at triple digits so far is precisely because of such issues. And that's why now that it's getting out, it's causing a lot of waves in Wall Street. And yeah, you can expect it to also be when and once this is fixed and is in the process of getting fixed to actually happen to, I mean, wait and have what was supposed to happen started happening. Triple digits, and maybe after that it incremental changes once after the other, potentially on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. I don't know, but the truth is Morgan Stanley now confirms that, hey, we have the regulators, we have the SEC breathing on our neck about something called block trading business. As a matter of fact, this is so huge that you will actually listen in this video on CNBC that since November, the head of this block trade business was put on leave of absence by Morgan Stanley, even months before it's now getting out. Why? Because the regulator already started investigating in silence. And now that it's getting out, that's why it's causing a lot of waves, because they are close to fixing this massive issue. Let's listen.
AK this morning, Morgan Stanley confirming that the Department of Justice has requested information regarding its block trading business. This is a story that's been percolating for some time. Credit to both the Journal and Bloomberg, who've written about it, let's call it in the last week or 2 weeks, Jim. But it's come up a lot in conversations I've had with hedge fund managers, with others who participate in the purchase of and or stock that is being sold in a block via a secondary sale by a Morgan Stanley, or even a primary sale from the company as well, and Goldman Sachs and others. And it's funny how many people wanted to engage on this story. So, yes. Have you seen this? Did you know, that Officefor, the guy who ran this, has been put on a leave of absence since November? I've been told subpoenas have gone out, quite a few of them. We'll see if it ends up as anything, because it's a murky area. And the question is, if you are running block trading, are you giving a signal to your best clients of what may be coming, letting them potentially get short so that they can then cover on the issue that you do to make sure that it goes very well?
Yeah, folks, here's the issue. The thing is, being a big bank, big investment bank such as Morgan Stanley, and they have kind of, the top three, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and the remaining places are being, battled between somebody like Credit Suisse or maybe JP Morgan, all right? But the three here in the US are pretty much the top three and kind of like in the world. The thing is, these companies are working with other big clients, big banks, big firms, big, holdings, and they are acting as what we call a liquidity provider, all right? So companies such as Citadel will potentially be working with a bank such as Morgan Stanley, or bunch of all of them, Bank of America, JP Morgan, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Because these are companies that are moving a lot of money. Hence, they can use these banks to actually leverage a lot of money, especially when it comes to moving into a play, a strategy that is supposed to provide them with big returns. That's why the wealthy, like the ultra wealthy, instead of having their money sitting in banks, they actually have their money being managed by those hedge funds, because that's how they provide, make the money grow year after year, because they move a lot of money. Now, the thing is, by moving this type of money, sometimes they actually give favors to some clients, as you heard here, all right? And this is precisely what is the issue with AMC, because all of these guys are working in dog pools, working with secondary ATS or secondary, platforms in order to do business within themselves. And so far, the SEC didn't have a lot more, or the regulators, or even the public didn't have lights, didn't have that transparency. But it caused more issues, because this is why, as I mentioned earlier, AMC is not trading into triple digits, because these guys, because they are working with the market maker. They are working with companies that are market maker, companies that are wholesalers. They move in blocks. These blocks are pretty much, orders shares packaged in billions or millions of shares. And sometimes, as we know, not sometimes, pretty much all the time, 99.5% of the time, our orders as retailers are being labeled, packaged, and definitely traded between these guys in blocks. And that's why sometimes you wonder why the stock has been dropping and nobody is selling. Well, precisely because these guys are doing whatever they want. But now times are about to change. Have you noticed that the guy who is responsible for this block trading business at Morgan Stanley has been on leave of absence since November? We are in February now, and this is just getting out. This got out 3 days ago. So November, December, January, 3 months, 4 months after, 3 to 4 months after, why are we only hearing about this now? Well, because when the SEC, the DOJ, when they start investigating you, you don't even know. That you start noticing and having notifications when they actually have enough or a baseline big enough to actually build a case. And this is why you should cheer up, because we are in for a threat. We are in for a treat, not a threat, a treat. Because when these things, and I believe it's close to being implemented or discovering, now the big issue will be the sanctions or the consequences. Is it going to be that, dark pools are going to be more regulated? Well, it's already the case with the rules on transparency from the SEC. Is that going to be that, they're going to cut some ties with these big clients, or they're going to reduce the amount of leverage they give to the clients, or they're going to totally stay, you know what? We are out of this business because of, XYZ coming from either the regulator, Department of Justice, or maybe because we don't want this to actually put additional dirt into our business. I don't know. Nobody knows so far. But the thing is, this is actually part of the main risk that coming from the White House, coming from the DOJ, coming from the SEC, coming from a bunch of these federal agencies, considered to be financial risk ahead causing by the big firms, not only hedge funds, but the big firms working with them. So if this is actually not true, but when this clears, well, if AMC wasn't trading at 100 because of such issues, such, manipulation, well, what do you expect is going to happen? It's going to fly. Simple.